it's Nelly. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you guys this look right here. This is a super glam, metallic, gunmetal-ish type of look. This was inspired by an artist I came across on Instagram. My phone died, so I can't show you guys her page, but I'm going to have it linked down in the description, and I'm also going to put the picture up here in the screen so you can check out her fabulous work. I came across that picture and I fell in love with the look, so I knew that I wanted to do something kind of inspired by her, kind of recreate it and do my own little twist to it. So this is what I came up with. It's really pretty. I think this is a perfect look for like a night out of dancing, clubbing, on the days that you're feeling a little bit more out there with your makeup, a little bit more rebellious. And I don't know, I just really wanted to play with some cool tone shades for today's video. So that is pretty much it. If you want to see how I got this look right here, then definitely go ahead and keep on watching. Alrighty, you guys, so we are ready to go ahead and get started. I am having a really weird brow day and a really weird hair day. Hopefully I can fix the hair towards the end of this video when the makeup look is done, but yeah, we're gonna ignore my awkward part that I'm like kind of going bald in the front, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started with the makeup. My brows are done. Like I said, I'm having a really awkward brow day. I don't know, I feel like they don't look like they always look. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and start off by priming my lids, and I'm gonna be using a concealer. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And I am going to apply this all over the lids, and I'm also going to carve my brows with this concealer. For today's video, we are going to be working off the Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette ever. I love this palette so much because it has so many basic shades, and just the formula on this is so freaking good. I don't know if you can tell, but my palette is very much used and loved. I'm going to start off by taking this shade right here, and I'm actually going to place this all over my lid, and this is just going to set that concealer into place. Alrighty, so going back in with this palette, I'm going to take this shade right here. I am going to take this using my JH number 30 brush, a really big blending brush. I'm going to take this shade a little bit higher than normal. We are going to be creating a slight cut crease, so you definitely want to make sure to take this color a little bit higher than normal. Like I always tell you guys, you want to make sure that the color is just as pigmented in the inner corner as it is in the outer corner. My eyelids are very dry at the moment. I don't know what's going on, so I have a dry patch right here. So don't mind that, because for some reason that area is not blending, and I do have a dry patch right in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade, which is a little bit darker than that first shade that we applied. I'm taking it with the JH32 brush. This particular shade, I'm definitely going to be concentrating it a little bit tighter in my crease, but still keeping it nice and high. You want to make sure that you still see that first transition shade, but you also want to make sure that you see this shade. I'm going to take a little bit of product at a time, because if you go in too heavy-handed at first, you can definitely mess this look up. So I'm going to take a very little bit of product at a time, and I'm going to start by blending the outer corner, and then with whatever is left on the brush, I'm going to begin to blend in towards the inner corner. You don't want to pick up too much product, just work with what you have in the brush. That's why I love these eyeshadows, because they are so pigmented that a little bit will go a super long way. I'm going to take that previous blending brush with a little bit more of our transition shade, and I am just going to work this again in the crease just to smooth over any harsh edges. Going in to the black shade, and I'm taking, this is a Kylie brush, but it's very, very, very similar to the Sigma E25. And I am going to take some of this shade. Now, this is the blackest shadow I own. I love this black. So I'm going to take very little of it, and again, I'm going to start small. So I'm going to place it in the outer corner, and then I'm going to turn my brush to the side, and I'm going to blend upwards towards the crease. And I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And do small little circular motions so that it goes up just a bit. I'm taking a pencil brush with a little bit of the black. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I am going to work this in the crease all the way to the inner corner. So I'm taking it and I'm placing it. I'm going to move it from the crease to that inner corner, because since we are going to be cutting the crease, I want this black to be really nice and intense from the inner corner to the outer corner. Taking a little bit of this gray shade once again, and now I'm just going to blend out the edges of the black shadow. I'm going to take a little bit of this brown shade right here, very little, nothing crazy, and I am going to work this just up here in the crease to kind of just blend everything a little bit more. I'm taking my concealer once again with a flat brush. This is from Automatic Cosmetics, and I am going to cut half of my lid. You don't want to cut your whole entire lid. You can if you want to. That's just not what I'm gonna do today. You do want to go ahead and cut just half of the lid. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So now that our lids are cut, I'm going in with the Stila Magnificent Metal Eyes in the shade Comics Platinum. It's like a really pretty silver shade. They actually come with like a little glue that you can just pour into this little dish that it comes with. So I am making just like a little liquid concoction, if you will. And then I am just going to apply this on the areas where we actually cut the crease. I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna pack it on top, because I feel like it applies it a little bit better and it looks a lot more pigmented with the finger. I'm gonna go back in with my pencil brush and a little bit more of the black shade, and I am going to try to mix those two colors together so that there is no harshness and that everything blends really nice and seamless. And you want to make sure that you do light taps, so just do tap, 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 tap really lightly so that everything just kind of blends in and the edges get really nice and blurred. You definitely don't want to go in too hard, because then you can disturb the shimmer shade. You just want to go tap, 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 tap and really blend that in. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take a makeup wipe, and I'm just gonna wipe off all of this hot mess that we have out here in the outer corner and make it really nice and sharp. In the inspo pic that I saw, she had a white liner kind of mapping out her cut crease. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I am using the NYX white liquid liner. Very carefully, I can talk while doing this step, but very carefully I am going to map out that inner cut crease that we have created. So let's move on to the skin, and then we'll come back to finish the eyes a little bit later. Primer, I am going in with the Lancome La Base Pro. I am going to apply this all over my skin. Moving on to foundation, I am going in with the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Wear Foundation. I am in the shade 220. I am obsessed with this foundation. Like, honestly, obsessed. Ever since I got this foundation, it is the only foundation that I have been putting on my skin. So I am going to be applying it using the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH03 brush, and I like to pat it into my skin. I don't rub it in, I pat it in. I like to go in with a smaller brush and clean around the brows with the foundation. Since we have such a dramatic look, I'm actually going to cream contour just a little bit. So I am taking the KKW contour stick. This one is in dark 1, and I am going to just contour the hollows of the cheek, a little bit up here in the forehead, sides of my nose. I'm also going to apply a little bit in the Cupid's bow and down here, and a little bit in the jawline and in the double chin. We're going for the extra glam, honey. I'm gonna take the Sephora, this is a Pro Angled Contour Brush. This is number 75. And I am just going to push this in to the skin. Not rubbing, I am pushing into the skin. And I love these contour sticks, not because they're Kim Kardashian, but because they honestly blend out so easy. Like, look at my forehead, it's already blended. When it comes to blending out the cheek area, you don't want to blend down. You definitely want to push the product up, not down, because if you push the product down, it makes your face look kind of droopy. So definitely push up on the product. Now I'm going to go in with my beauty sponge and just make sure that everything is nice and blended. Moving on to concealer, I'm going in with my ColourPop concealer in shade Light 14. And I am going to apply this under the eyes. And I'm also going to take this concealer and apply it on the sides of the nose and down the center of the nose. And I'm going to take a little bit on the chin and up here in the forehead. I'm taking my beauty sponge once again, but this time I'm going to use the clean side. And I have to talk about this beauty sponge because ever since I got it, I have been using it non-stop. This is the Shina Bee Miami. I hope I'm saying that right. Shina, hope that's how you say it. But this beauty sponge blends everything so seamless into the skin, and it doesn't soak up a lot of the product. Like, when you wash the sponge, what comes out of it is very, very minimum compared to my beauty blender. Ever since I got this is what I have been using, and you can check my previous videos because you're going to see that this is the only thing that I have been using to blend out my concealer. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I just really wanted to mention it because such a great sponge. I'm going to take this and I am just going to blend my concealer. Look at that. Barely any product is coming into the sponge. I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush, and I kind of just run this where the concealer and the foundation meet, just to make sure that everything is really nice and blended, and you don't want it to be too harsh looking. So I do go over it with my foundation. Now I'm going to set my under eyes. Recently I have been setting my under eyes with a dry sponge. I just like the way that it makes my under eyes look. And I'm going to pat in the back of my hand any of the excess powder. And then I like to look up, and I am going to apply this under my eyes. I also bring it down to the nose. And while that is baking, I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me powder in shade number 20. And now this I do use with my wet sponge. So I'm going to get a little bit of this on the cap. And now I'm going to go in with my wet sponge, and I'm going to take the flat side. I am again going to wipe off the excess on the back of my hands. And I am just going to set the rest of my skin. I'm going to go ahead and finish my under eyes. So I am going to take this is from Pretty Vulgar, and it's called the Ink Blacklist Gel Liner. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to apply this to my waterline. I'm going to take this brown that we used in the crease, and I am going to work this in the lower lash line and really smoke it out. And then I'm going to take this dark brown shade right over here, and I am going to work this in the lower lashes as well, just to add a little bit of brown to the under eyes. I'm going to take the black shade with a flat shader brush, and I'm going to apply this really close to my lower lashes. Bronze up my skin using the ColourPop bronzer, and I'm using the JH02 brush. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of my face powder. I'm just going to apply this right in here to bring the contour slash bronzer forward. Alrighty, so I am going to really quickly apply some mascara and some falsies, and then I'll be right back to finish the rest of the face. I have been obsessed, in love with this blush. This is the Laura Geller Baked Blush in Brighton. We got this in this month's BoxyCharm, and oh my god, I love it so freaking much. It is so good. And I'm taking it with the JH04 brush. So I'm going to apply it to the apple of my cheek. Look at that. It just, I love it. I freaking love it. I'm gonna go in with highlight, and I'm gonna take the Amrezy highlighter, apply it to the tops of the cheekbone. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and that same highlight, and I am going to apply it down the bridge of the nose and on the tip of the nose. Lastly, I'm going in with lips. I'm going to line my lips using the Kylie lip liner in Caramel. Now I'm going to go in with the Milani Amore Matte in the shade Adorable. And I'm going to put this in the center. Then I'm going to take the NYX Butter Lip Gloss in the shade Madeline. Alrighty, you guys, so this is it. This is the finished final look. I'm going to go ahead and leave the Instagram where I got my inspiration from down in the descriptions. I'm going to go ahead and leave the Instagram where I got my inspiration from down in the description so that you can go ahead and check out the fabulous artist that inspired this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video before you go. And I think that's it. So I will see you guys very, very soon with a brand new video. Mwah!